In this episode, we're going to show you the basics of Docker and containers. What is it? What is it used for? We don't know. We'll find out.
You're watching DevTips, a weekly show about web development where we mostly fail, not always, but mostly, but always learn.
This episode is sponsored by Brilliant.org. Thank you, Brilliant. I will read a message from them. Are you interested in computer science? Then check out Brilliant, a problem-solving website that teaches you to think like a computer scientist. Instead of passively listening to lectures, you get to master concepts by solving fun and challenging problems. They are fun. I've done a few. They are really fun. And Brilliant provides the tools and framework you need to tackle these challenges. So when you try to solve a problem, it actually gives you hints on why that answer was right and not. It's really, really neat. Brilliant's thought-provoking content based around breaking up complexities into bite-sized, understandable chunks will lead you from curiosity to mastery. Try and check it out. It's really neat. It's like a fun way to learn. It's not lectures. It's like doing tasks. It's fun. It's cool. Thank you, Brilliant. Now let's get back to the show. Could you explain to me what Docker is?
Let's talk about the problem that Docker solves.
Okay, so what is the problem that Docker solves?
Yes. Let's say that you have, let's talk about the period in our lives before Docker existed. Back in the day when I was a young web developer without this beard, the way you did things was that you created like your app, right, in PHP or Node.js or Ruby or whatever's. And then that app needed a database. Then you set up that database, you installed it on your machine, and well, that was fine. Then you were supposed to deploy this thing on the machine in the interweb instead of your local development machine, and then you had to like configure that on that server as well. So you needed other development configuration thingies there, and then like your project grew, or you got some coworkers like working on the same thing, and when they had to set up their the environment, they also had to install the database on their machine. And to do this, you created like a README with setup instructions, and it always ended up in like this. Worked, but there was always quite a bit of friction. Like, okay, I didn't get this working on my machine because I have a different system. Like there's different variants. This stopped working on my machine because I have an old version of MySQL, or this expected to have this version of the MySQL. And this complexity kind of was manageable up to a point when you just have a simple app and it's just a MySQL database. That's not too much. However, as you get like a messaging server, perhaps like something, I don't know, to pipe messages back and forth, you're setting up a GraphQL server, like all that kind of different things. Then it becomes quite a hassle to get all of this working on a new development environment or a new deployment. And what Docker does is that it provides like a little mechanic to create virtual Linux instances inside of your system, and it deploys a little MySQL server inside of your system, and it deploys a little Node server inside of your system, and it deploys a little RabbitMQ Linux installation, and you can configure all of this in a very nice little configuration file. And this is perfectly and predictably deployed with the exact right version on Linux inside your system, no matter if you run like Windows or Mac OS X, and that is like super convenient. And you can commit this configuration file inside your repository, so that developers that get started just press like Docker build thing, and it just works, which is amazing.
So if I'm running things, I'm writing some Node.js app, and it's like localhost : port 3000, blah, blah, blah. And then that speaks to some other server, like a database that's also locally on my machine on some other port.
Yeah.
I can like configure to say that these two applications should speak to each other. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
And then you can just get that? Or like, how does it work?
Well, how does it work?
Or like, okay,
well,
never mind how it works for real. How do I do it?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do today. Like what I just said is sort of abstract. I think that for me, like I think it's fine that it just confuses you there because I didn't get it either. I even heard the explanation that I've been told here, but I still didn't quite get why I would do it. Like one of the big advantages of Docker is that this, when it's set up correctly, works so well. It's very, very well. It's a very, very well made piece of software. Oh.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna take some fika break here. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm taking a break with some Huel because I didn't eat today because I'm like just gotten back from New York and everything in my life is just like wow.
How do I like even install it? Like, do I just run like npm install, or do I need something on my machine to run Docker?
Yeah,
like, I don't really know.
Yeah, so let's just try to figure it out. The thing that you need to do is install the Docker thing. I don't know what they call it nowadays.
Okay, I googled Docker.
Yeah, share your screen as well. Yeah, so we need to like download Docker. So yeah, that's it. Awesome, get started with Docker.
Docker for Mac.
Yes.
We will fast forward this. What do you mean, yeah. Please log in to download?
Yeah, you need a Docker account.
I think I have a Docker account. Okay, I have an account. So what I did was I created an account on Docker to try to get to download it.
Yeah, the reason why they're like kind of interested in this account thing is because Docker is kind of like npm in the sense that there's a store for things. So there's gonna be like a MySQL Docker instance or a Node instance or like this Linux edition instance that you build other things on.
But for npm, I don't need an account, do I? Do I have an account when I have npm?
No, but you need an account to publish things.
Oh yeah, put to publish. Okay, Community Edition, Enterprise Edition. I guess Community Edition is our thing. Docker Desktop Mac. I guess yes. Get Docker. Whoa, 500 megabytes. My connection here is not super fast.
Well, yeah, it contains. I probably contains a number of Linux instances in there and stuff. Yeah, you don't use Docker because it's light. I can tell you that.
Okay, I can start up code.
Yeah, while we're waiting, I can talk about why my plant is here, like it isn't usually, and also like my studio is a little bit. It's just everything is off. I had like my land. I planted this next. I pushed this next to the windows here so that it would get light while I was away for 3 weeks, and just so that it would be easy for my landlord to water it while I was gone.
Okay, so while you were saying that, I opened a new file called app.js in a directory called Docker. Yeah. So just to make something.
Yeah, that's true.
To show something else. So let's just write a small app that does something. How do I even write a basic hello world app? Console log
like
hello. This has to work, right?
Yeah.
No.
We probably want some.
Boom.
Sure.
It works.
Yeah, it does. But we probably want something that is running.
Can we figure out
like an Express server?
Okay, so npm install express.
If you, the audience members, have a good idea about what is the cool new thing instead of Express, put that in the comment and we'll make a video about it. Oh, that's brilliant. Sweet.
Okay, so we have an app that does something. So when we surf to it...
Like, you made a mistake there that we will keep because it will break the Docker thing.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so here, let's just install Docker. I open the DMG. What does DMG stand for? Disk mount?
Damage.
Damage. The damage file.
This is strange.
Oh, I had Docker already.
All right,
I didn't
brilliant.
know that.
Well, now we have a good install, but fine. Like the installation is okay. The installation isn't all that important.
I now have the new Docker. Okay, now I'm not recording this part of the screen, but there is something in the top right here that says that Docker is starting.
Yeah. What it does now is that it creates like Docker is this virtualized environment that is capable of running Linux servers on your system.
Now it says Docker is running. Okay, so how do I do now?
So so Docker is running now, and that took a bit of a few minutes. Let's first actually like do the simple thing and just get some Docker and something up on our system. Like do open Kitematic.
Open what?
Kitematic, it's a bundle with Docker.
No.
No, it should be.
Okay, you don't say this because that's outside of my...
Oh, it isn't actually bundled.
Oh, it's always such a long time to like get things started. Like,
but okay. Hang on, David. Like, okay, let me have a rant because this is exactly what next Monday's video on Fun Function is about.
What a plug.
Sucks. Okay, so the narrative there is that success is just a long series of failures, man. Like, this is development. Like, we cannot, like, I know we're not feeling productive because we're just constantly blocked by a problem here and here, like, and it doesn't feel like we're making high impact development. But if you take that reasoning to its ultimate conclusion, then the only time you're really productive is when you press deploy. It's very important to like take solace in that. We're doing work now. We're making steps towards the next goal.
So I don't get it. It says on Kitematic, pull and run private Docker Hub images by connecting your Docker Hub account to Kitematic. Is that the same Docker account I did? Is that the Docker Hub account?
That's the Docker account, yeah.
Yeah, but what is the Docker Hub account? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it's probably the same thing.
Okay,
so let's just install like some Docker image here. Ghost, that's interesting. Let's create a Ghost installation inside your system.
I should just click create.
Yeah.
So what is an image?
So what is it? So an image is it's a Linux it's a pre-packaged Linux installation. So Ghost is a WordPress competitor written in Node. And what this will contain is that it's going to contain a Linux installation. On top of that Linux installation is going to be like a Node installation. And on top of that is going to be like probably the database that Ghost uses. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Nginx for serving things. Who knows? Something like that. And that is all packaged in an image. That's a Docker image.
I still haven't gotten the fiber here.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed this. But, however, it doesn't matter because I've been in the US for 2 weeks. And the US, which has invented internet and is supposedly the land of competition, has the worst fucking broadband operators. Like, broadband and internet and mobile internet access, all internet access is so expensive and so bad in the US compared to Sweden. Sorry, the US.
Because this is the 80-20 rule, that the last 20% takes 80% of the time. Actually, that's probably true in this case.
Yeah. Like, just get used to this, man.
And the last 2.30,
oh my god,
2.55 will be even worse.
Yeah, but get used to this. Like with Docker, you're going to be like your system is going to be pulling a lot of big images all over the place. You're going to download Linux installations, Linux installations, Linux installations.
Okay, now something happens.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
What's going on here?
So what you see here in the logs is that now this is booting up a Linux machine inside of your system, and it's booting up Ghost. Ghost is running as production. Yeah. So try going to that URL. That probably won't work.
Can't be reached.
No. So why do you think that this is?
Okay, first, what is going on? What is this first? Creating info. Okay, an image, I guess that is sort of like, here is the Ghost setup.
Yep.
And now it ran things here, a lot of info. It created a bunch of tables and stuff, like, this is the blog, so it's the things needed to the blog. Okay.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. And now it says, Ghost is running in production. It is available here.
Yeah. And I can tell you that that is correct.
Okay, but why can't I reach it when I try to go to it?
Yeah, that's true. remember that this is a Linux machine. Like, what do you think is going on? Like,
Okay.
remember that this is a Linux machine.
So, okay. Docker is a virtual machine.
Yes.
And within that virtual machine, it's running so locally within Docker.
Precisely.
On port 2368, it is running. But that is not open to the outside world, which is my Mac OS I'm running.
Well, it is open to you, but however, when you write localhost now, then you're trying to access the port 2368 on your machine.
Not on the virtual machine.
Yeah. So that is what you need to access the virtual machine, and that is mapped on your network by Docker. I think you can click settings in Kitematic to see it. Yeah. There you go. Let's try that.
Oops. I did Command C again. Oops.
All the oops.
Why is development so hard? I can't even copy paste, right?
Because hard things are hard things.
Oh, it's working. We're done.
Bam. Yeah, that's the gist of Docker basics. Like now we're
honestly,
this
Matthias, I have to say, I was not expecting that this would be such a huge insight for me, that the virtual machine is running things within it, and now I can access it through this other port. So it's like somewhere here, there's like, it's like a connecting map table. It's mapping the ports to each other.
So what Ghost has running inside your machine is like a virtual machine that probably in turn contains several virtual machines, like a node instance, a database instance, probably like a file system of some sort, and maybe like a messaging system. I don't know exactly what Ghost entails, to be honest. So, but somewhere where it, and
here I can see the log that someone, that is me, came to the site, and it served up things to me when I'm here. So if I click here to go to some other site page, like help, things will happen here, right? Probably.
Yep.
No? Oh, it went to some other page. Here then. No? Oh, because the link is to the localhost port.
Oh.
Getting started. Okay.
Interesting. So it like the...
Okay. So now if I go here, things will happen here. Yes, now it's serving that page.
Oh, it doesn't map up the port properly. Or perhaps that's not the idea how this is supposed... I mean, this is supposed to be deployed in production. Like this Docker image here is meant for deployment. It's not meant for you starting development on it. So Docker is also like a very good way of if you have like an open source software like Ghost or, for instance, Discourse, the forum software that Fun Forum runs on. Then it's a very good way of packaging the entire thing for your for the consumers of your software, which is really nice. Let's try to run Node inside inside of Docker.
Dockerizing. Oh, I like that. It's called Dockerizing. It's
Yeah.
not how. Yeah, I like that it's a verb.
Yeah, but it's a common action, you know, like you have an application and you are now ready to Dockerize it.
First, create new directory where all the files will live. In this directory, create a package JSON that describes your app and its dependency. Don't I have that?
Yeah. No, you don't.
No, I don't. Okay.
That was the mistake that I talked about before. You can actually, don't do this manually. There is a tool for this.
What is the tool?
npm init.
Oh yeah. Yep. My great video example with Docker.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. All right. Brilliant. Now we have a package run. Cool. And in the tutorial there, I think they mentioned that they want a start command. Which is like, this is how we start your package. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
I will never forgive you.
App.js.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So now you can run npm start because of that.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. This is not really related to Docker per se. It's just a nice way of like.
It's nice for me to learn what package JSON is for.
Yeah, it's npm start is just like a standard way of describing how the application is started, so that other Node developers they don't have to like figure out how the hell to start your app. So always npm start.
Yeah. Then create a server.js file. We did that. It has stuff we have done almost the same. And now it says creating a Docker file.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's do that.
And I guess it has to be called Docker file with capital D. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Nice icon.
Oh, it has a extension for it as well.
Yes. Install it.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Okay. We're in the Docker file.
All right. Now that we are done being distracted by our tool, we can go back to the tutorial. And you see here that they want you to use a Docker command called from node 8.
Yeah.
Let's copy that into our Docker file. And let's talk a little about what that is. Go back to Kitematic and search for node in the directory, wherever that was. Perhaps you have to click new or something. Yeah, so many Americans are gonna say, you're shitting on the internet connections in the US while your internet connections are shit.
Yes. Internet is working. Is it because I typed node?
No, it should be fine. Just go to the web and the Docker Hub. This is the npm, like the equivalent of npm for.
Oh, okay. I think it's the Docker Hub that is down.
How
convenient! It's down.
Wow.
We're recording.
Wow. Oh, seriously, this is the most Murphy's Law moment.
Okay, now it's up. Node. Yeah, it was this this command that crashed it. One node too many. Will this? Can this
should work
reboot?
now, right?
No, I think it's Kitematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Skip.
Either way. So what we're looking at here, like this is the official Docker image for Node that is provided by Node. You can actually click on it and see what it contains.
Node is a JavaScript-based platform for server-side networking applications. Support the tags and respect.
Oh,
These
yeah,
are
they're
sweet codes for releases of Debian, blah, blah, blah. Debian
so
packages.
they're Debian packages.
Okay, and then create the app work there. Okay, so this is, from Node 8 is basically download Node 8. Okay.
Yeah.
And then work there is like, I guess that is like, which will be my directory I want to work in.
Yeah, so remember that you're not downloading Node per se here. You're downloading a Linux image that contains Node, among other things.
Okay, yeah.
And when we have to like, I mean, we can't just run in like some arbitrary place. That would be weird. We need to decide, like tell Docker like where are we actually running things right now. Okay,
so then it's like for we go to the user source app directory. Install app dependencies. Copy package.
Exactly.
Okay, so the Docker file is an instruction. It's like a recipe for me creating an image.
Yes.
So if I just gave you the Docker file and you did not have a package star JSON, nothing would happen.
Precisely.
When you try to create a new image.
Precisely. This is this is instructions on how to create an image. Yes.
Okay, I get it. And then run. That's pretty. I understand what that means.
Yep.
Run npm install. So okay, we copied the package JSON. This one here.
Yeah.
To the directory we're in, which is the user source app within the container thing.
Precisely.
Within the virtual machine. And then we run npm install because in the package JSON it says the dependencies because we want to install Express. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, cool. Great. Bundle app source copy ...
Yeah, so this copies everything in your application directory into the work directory of the server. So the one on it's a little bit funky here, but the copy is so the thing on the right side is where that's the work, like that assumes a working directory, and the one on the left side assumes that you are in that's the where you are actually running Docker, which in this case is on your machine.
Like here. In the terminal. If I run it from here, that's the dot. All right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, precisely. And the dot on the right side is going to mean the working directory on the server.
Okay, got it. All right, bundle app source. And then it says expose 8080.
Yeah, because otherwise it won't. Is that the port in our app though? I think it's 3000.
Okay, so when this will run, it will run this thing.
Yeah.
And by saying expose,
yes,
it says open up the internal port to the outside.
Yeah.
And
so
we'll
again,
it to 3000.
Exactly. So this exposes this port on the little Linux machine inside of your machine. So it doesn't have anything to do with your ports. It has to do with the ports on that machine.
Okay. Last but not least. Okay, this was what I was waiting for. npm start. Command and then things.
Yes.
So this is instead of us running npm start here to get the container terminal sort of to run this, we have to do it like command and then say what are the commands.
Yes, precisely.
Got it. Okay. Now what? Should I save this?
I think that we do some Docker command on this, like Docker build or something.
Create a
Oh yeah, we definitely want to do that.
so
because
that's like-
otherwise it. Yeah. So like we do this. Yeah. So the node, like ignore node modules, and yeah, that's a good idea. So,
Okay, so
if
that's
we
basically it. So when we're creating the image, we don't want it to include the node modules because we tell it here to run npm install, so the image will install it anyways.
Yeah,
And we don't
exactly.
want it to
Otherwise,
crash.
otherwise it would keep install like pushing all the node modules to the Docker environment all the time, which is we really don't want.
Yes. Okay, I get it. And because we have set up here in the package JSON which of the modules versions it's interested in, we don't have to bundle that within the image because it will just download
Exactly.
it once it's running.
Precisely. So you want, when this is deployed on server, we want the server to go fetch the correct versions from npm. We don't want to copy them with the project.
Got it.
So I think that we should be able to run this Docker file right now, actually. I think you just run docker run.
Like that.
So yeah, try that.
Run a command in a new container.
See, at least one argument. So I mean you could run docker file, but I think run docker run dot perhaps. Does that work?
Oh, okay, run the doc. Okay, let's see the tutorial.
Yeah, okay.
Docker build.
Thought I could
Oh, okay,
guess.
I get it. So we have the recipe. Now we have to bake it.
Yes, true. Yeah, of course, that is true. Yeah, so the run command expects an image, but what we have is a recipe for an image.
Docker build -t your username node web app. Do I have to? Can I skip it? No. Flag needs
no.
argument. Can I just do Docker run?
Yeah. I think you can.
Ah, yeah, got it.
I
Okay.
think
So now it's
yeah.
running the steps.
Yeah.
So it's doing the from node 8, and now it starts pulling things here.
Yeah.
It's downloading.
Think that the T command thing is for tagging.
Okay.
And
yeah.
like it's very convenient to have your images named and tagged for all kinds of organizational purposes. So I get why they are pushing that, but for like it's not strictly needed for this to work.
Okay, so now it's pulling node. So now it's pulling like an entire Linux with node installed. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that why it's downloading all this?
Yeah. So it's probably pulling one Linux that maybe have like some interesting Linux tools, like one image that has tools installed. I don't know, like every single little hash you see here is an image. That so it's an image based on another image based on another image based on another image.
So if we just say that we look at the Docker file for node,
yeah,
it's running this from build pack, and then we could find that and look at that and see that it has other froms in it. So it's just like a lot of containers getting like recursively called, sort of.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
Oh, how fun that we have to download things. It's so slow.
An interesting thing here is that you're not actually copying it from your machine. So you see, like there is a little line there called sending build context to Docker daemon. You see it right below Docker build.
Yeah.
What it does there is that it takes like the directory where you ran Docker build, and it just shoves that to the Docker environment. Mm-hmm. It copies that entire thing. And so when I said like when I said that copy package.json, like what's on the left side, the left-hand command of copy, refer to your local machine, that's not really correct. That's actually refers to like the Docker environment. So what it does is that it copies everything in your local directory to the Docker environment, and then then that is what copy is from.
Got it.
And that is also why we added Docker ignore because right now you see that when it's sending the build context, it's only 18.94 kilobytes, which is very small. It's just the app.js and the package.json, really. But that is why we added the Docker ignore, because then otherwise it would copy the entire node modules.
Okay.
Which is like many megabytes big, which is just completely unnecessary operation.
Okay, so here it did the workday thing. Removing. Oh, so here's a lot of hashes.
Yeah.
Running in. So it's like, is it creating like new container after each
Yes, precisely.
thing? Oh, okay. So I guess like it can reuse things if you do it like multiple times. So you're doing the same thing in the same order in another container, then it can do the same thing.
Exactly, because like the state of the container is hashed. Like we know exactly what the state is going to be of this Linux container. It is the node container after we have copied our package.json.
Okay, and here it is running npm install.
Yeah.
So it says it's added 48 packages, blah blah blah. That was the dependencies is express basically.
Yeah.
And then it did that copy thing you just explained. Expose 3000 running. Removing, and then command start, running, removing intermediate, and now successfully built. Okay, so now we have a container somewhere here in this, on our machine, we have the container like floating around.
Exactly. I don't think it's in your local directory, right? If you write ls.
No.
No, because what it has done is that it has built it in the Docker environment. So you now have now I think that you can Docker run this thing.
This thing.
Yeah, try that actually. Does that work? Yeah, that worked. I mean, and this is why you would want tags, by the way.
Oh yeah. This is difficult to remember.
Yeah, this is not very pretty. Like tags would like otherwise it would be like David / la la la, and that is also why they're so why they want you to pick a Docker Hub username, because that is now your place to publish things under. So now you can publish write your username / David's thingy thing.
But
gives you
we now still have the same problem as with Ghost, right? That even though it says here in the container it's running 3000.
Yeah.
We won't see it if we go to 3000, right?
No, exactly. So go to Kitematic again. See where we.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I just wanted to make sure that we.
Now this only searches on the Docker Hub, and we have not published it on the Docker Hub or anything like that. All right. Yeah, I'm grasping at straws a little bit here. So let's go back to the tutorial and see where we're at.
Oh, Docker images. Okay, so
there's a Docker images command.
Okay, I will just start a new terminal here. Docker images. Okay, so here we have the images. So we see here that we have a bunch of things downloaded. I have some old projects I've run a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
3 years ago, I tried it, apparently. Or? No.
Yep.
Created. Okay, it's not that when I downloaded it. It's when it's great. But here we have the Ghost thing.
Yeah. And then you have
and then here we have the thing we just created.
Which has no repository and no tag, but it has an image ID.
Yeah, because that is the same that I copied before.
All right. So this is, but we have this image running in a container right now.
Mm.
Can we is there a Docker command for that, like Docker containers or something?
I remember now. I've done this before. I think it is Docker PS.
Ooh, you're right. You're right. Oh, nice.
This is from 3 years ago, sort of, or 14, something like that.
It's interesting how the brain sometimes works.
Okay, it's not very pretty.
No, this is a common thing with Docker is at least really long lines of things.
Container
I think that people that work with I think that people working with Docker they get very long screens. So
okay, so I get it. Okay, Matthias. So we have the image. I was talking about that this number here was the container ID. Yeah. It's not. It's an image ID. Because of course you can run the same image as multiple containers. So that's why this container ID is different from the image ID.
Yeah. So for instance, you might...
I don't know why we wouldn't want to do that.
No, that would be excellent. Like that way you can run multiple processes in your machine and have like if one process crash, you can still like redirect traffic to another.
Okay, so now this is pain in the pane. Should I just stop Ghost so it's not messing with us?
No, let's keep it running actually. Like it's kind of good for context, I think, to see multiple things running.
It gave this container like a nice name.
What is that? Interesting.
Gracious Mirzakani. Okay, so I get it. We have this image we just created.
Yeah.
And then we ran it. So now it's a running container. And that has this ID.
Yeah.
And it says something about port series 3000/TCP. But if we compare this to Ghost, we see that Ghost has done some magic trick here.
This map to exactly. That mapped some a port on your local machine to the port on that server.
Yeah, so this is, I think it makes sense. It's like if I come from localhost : this port, that will map it to this port within.
Exactly.
And here on this running container, it has exposed the 3000 port, so it can be connected, but it is not.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, like somebody in the audience might think, well, why doesn't it auto expose all ports? That seems like, I mean, why do we have to do this silly extra step? Well, the reason, like, apart from the fact that it would be really nasty for the thing to just overwrite ports on your system because you might be using them for other things, you also might not want to expose ports. For instance, like the database, for instance, you only want that to be internally accessible by the things.
You mean that you could have one container being the database speaking with a different container that perhaps is a web server, but you only want the web server to be accessible from outside the virtual machine.
You're getting it.
But you want them to be able to communicate within. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I said got it this time. I'm so smart. I get everything. The P flag redirects a public port. Okay.
That's how we do it.
Okay, so how do I stop it? So here, let's just try the name here. Docker stop this magical name.
Yeah.
Okay, and then PS. Okay, wait, sorry, I will just clear. Docker. Okay, now I only have Ghost.
Yeah, brilliant.
Docker image. No, Docker images. Okay, this is a mess. I tried to make it easier by changing the size, but this is the image ID I want. -P. Let's set a new outside port. 3001. And map that to 3000 within.
Yeah.
And then let's just... Can I give it a name? Name. MPJ's magical mystery box container thing. Virtual machine.
Yeah. But you also need to...
Yeah, I forgot the actual image.
Image. Brilliant.
Brilliant. And now...
It's listening on port 3000, which should be 3001 on our own machine.
Oh, check this out. It has the same thing as Ghost. So it says, if I go to localhost, :3001, then it will pass that on to the container's port 3000, which we have opened up, because we said that here. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't show up here. Okay, so now let's just go to localhost 3001. Localhost 3001.
Boom. There we go.
Now you know everything about Docker.
Well,
at least the basics. Actually, this
yeah,
was pretty fun.
Yeah, like this is. I mean, we had a little issues, but like, honestly, I think this is pretty sleek. Like you have to remember that this is setting up an entire bloody virtualized Linux environment on your machine, and it's pulling out just the right dependencies. And I want to just point out, like, now you might wonder, like, why did they do all this mess? Well, I think that it would had been great if we could have shown this with like a database and some more dependencies as well, like more of a hassle. But this is pretty valuable still in itself. Because if you're doing a completely new environment here and you have a development environment you want running, notice that you don't need anything installed to do this besides Docker.
Yeah.
When you did you could do Docker build and Docker run, and it would install everything automatically. You wouldn't need Node on your machine or anything like that, and it would predictably run whether or not you were on a Windows machine or not. Let's say that you had like different, like some path thing, or maybe you install some kind of binary thing, like image magic or something as a dependency that is that is a mess on Windows system. Then that would just automatically still work because it was actually Linux running inside your Windows machine.
So if I start working in another team, perhaps.
Yeah.
If they have done everything, set up everything with Docker, basically they could tell me, just get this image and run that as a container, and then magically I will get the like the production server locally.
Exactly.
Because
you
I don't
probably
have to
run
have the actual...
Yeah, exactly. You would run, I think it's Docker Compose when it's multiple things involved. But yeah, more or less, run this command and boof, everything works.
And also, I guess it can be pretty sleek to like deploy them, like, because now basically we're deploying the server, but we happen to do it on our machine, but we could deploy it to the actual server thing.
Yeah. And that is actually the real value, because you get like this extremely predictable deploy process. Like it's every directory, every Linux version, everything is perfectly synced. Like you don't have to think about like, oh, what version of operating system is running on the servers there, or like what might be in those directories. Everything is just boom, completely created from scratch on the fly, and everything is exactly the way you want it. It's not absolutely perfect, but very close to. Like, it's so predictable deployments.
So
and another thing with like Docker is so standardized, everyone supports Docker. It's all the
like cloud platforms.
Yes, all cloud platforms just supports this out of the box. Everything works perfectly.
So would I say I want to have a web server, because we do web development.
Yeah.
And I have my small Node app. I built like a React, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I could like have the actual server, the Node server, run in one container. Then I could have like, for some reason, the database in a different container. And then I could have like Nginx that serves like SSL and that stuff as its own container. And then everything is like, each and everything is in its own place, and they are not like mangled together in like this big mess.
No.
Is that
exactly? Yeah. So for instance, like let's say that you had like your Node instance and your MySQL instance, like they might work best on different Linux distributions, or like maybe Node has some issue with this. Like you wouldn't have to sync the versions of the Linux distribution and figure out the perfect Linux distribution that runs all your things the best. You just like run the Docker images that are officially provided again. And like we use the official Node image here, but it's very common that everyone, like MySQL provides their own Docker image on a Linux version that they have tested this for, that is super predictable. And all other big open source providers do the same. It's really, really nice.
Okay. I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
It was a long episode, but I at least found it very, very enlightening, and I want to experiment more with Docker. It just feels it seems fun. Thank you for sticking around this far in following this Docker basics. Check out brilliant.org/devtips. Please write in the comments what of this did you find difficult, or like was it something that you didn't understand, like we just like missed in explaining? Please write it in the comments.
Yes, and what would you like us to explore next with Docker? Well, because I think a lot of people have done sort of what we did, and then got like, okay, but how do I progress with this?
Yeah, and if this was the first time you saw us, I'm David, and that is MPJ over there. This is a weekly web development show that comes out on Friday mornings at 0800 GMT. It's called DevTips, and we do these kind of things, explore and experiment and try to learn things.
Yes.
So let's hope to see you in the next video that comes out in a week from now.
Brilliant.
Bye.